Is the MBTI complete nonsense, or is there something to it? Is it a science or reasonably accurate, or is it a pseudoscience? This video is a short response video to the video made by a guy called INTJ, where he basically goes out and wants to free us from the jail of the MBTI. Um, I'm going to start by saying that I agree with INTJ on like almost everything that he says. There are certain like very specific parts that I don't agree with, but the wider point he's making and the intention he has, I agree with it very much, and I want to even enhance what he's saying in this video from a little bit of another perspective, but basically saying the same thing. So myself, I started my self-discovery journey, the journey inward, through the MBTI, or I started with the four temperaments, but I quickly came into contact with the MBTI because that's the one that is big on the internet. So I started off, I first scored as an ESTJ, ENTJ, mostly ENTJ. And then I realized that, I'm not really an extrovert, that's trained behavior. I'm more of an introvert. And now I've scored sort of consistently as an INTJ for, a period of time. So at start, it was like a phenomenal experience. Like, oh my God, now I understand who I am. Oh, this is why my childhood was like that. And this is why my teenage years was like that, and so on. So it was a great experience. But now, say about 1 year later, the more I learn about self or self-knowledge, the more I introspect, the further away I drift from the MBTI, and the more I get convinced that it is actually a pseudoscience. I'll repeat that. The more I learn about myself, at start, I really like the MBTI, but the more I learn about myself, the further away I get from the MBTI, the more, in a sense, useless I find it, and the more pseudoscientific I find it. You see, to me, it's not completely nonsense. There is some merit to it, and it can be useful. But in the general way that the MBTI is mostly, not by all, but mostly practiced, is actually just a pseudoscience and on a borderline to a religion. You see, because the MBTI is a very good start. It teaches you that people are different, and it teaches you that which is so obvious to you, that you're supposed to think in a certain way and you're supposed to act in a certain way in a certain situation, is not obvious to other people. So it puts you in a context with other people and say, okay, so I'm an INTJ. I am more contemplative as a person than other people. I am more analytical. Okay, now I understand why everyone says that I'm so analytical. You see, it gives you a context on you related to other people, and that is a phenomenally good gateway to the introspective journey, or the journey to learn about yourself. But you see, it is a gateway. It's a start. This is very important to understand. It is only a beginning. You're supposed to enter the gate and keep on walking. If you get stuck on the gate, you won't develop any further, because then you are not going in that direction that the path beyond the gateway is pointing towards. You're stuck on the gate because you're confusing the inward journey with the gate that took you to the inward journey. So you're stuck on the gate. And when we get stuck on the gate, that's when we are stuck into this very dark situation, which INTJ explains very well in his video, where we sort of rationalize everything we type. We make up our own theories about what the cognitive functions are supposed to be according to our opinion. We basically make a lot of claims without any proof or any connection to reality. Any behavior we see in a person is because of a specific type. We make excuses for our own personal development so that we don't have to learn sales because we are introverts. We don't have to learn to talk to people because we are introverted thinkers, and that's something that feelers do or extroverts do. You see, we create these mental jails, or the worst one. We don't have to learn to be disciplined because we are perceivers. So basically, all of these negative things that INTJ, and there are also other people on YouTube, talk about when it comes to typology, in my opinion, comes from the fact that we are confusing the gate with the journey. The MBTI is only the start, but we have to go beyond the MBTI and learn more about ourselves, about different people. Not even just that, let's take typology, learn different typology models, learn about the Enneagram, learn about the 4 temperaments, learn about the big 5 personality traits. A recommendation there, a very good dimension in the big 5 is the neuroticism. Neuroticism can actually explain a lot in behavior that is not captured at all in the MBTI. So that's just another dimension to it. So all in all, I recommend to watch INTJ's video. I think he sort of nails it. I echo what he says. I think it's a good start, but I think that we should not get stuck on the MBTI, and I also do not think that it is a particularly accurate typology. I will end with this very interesting philosophical question. If Jung was right in his typology, how come he could not even determine his own type with his own model? Why did he switch so many times during his life between, oh, I'm an introverted thinker, oh, I'm a sensor, oh no, I'm an intuitive? Does that not tell you something about the accuracy of his own model? He can't even use the medicine that he intends to produce to cure himself. So why should I expect his typology to cure me? There's a lot of good in Carl Jung. I'm just pointing out to you that we have to be a little bit more critical and not take type as a God-given truth.